When was the first time you ever manifested anything?
Mm. I was in college. I was broke as fuck. And I remember I was with my friend and we would manifest together all the time. And I really needed money. Like I was so broke. I had to pay off my tuition and I needed money to like Uber and go to the bars. And I remember she was like, I saw this video on TikTok and it was like, you can manifest if you say, with good to all and harm to none, $5,000 is on its way to me. Stupid as fuck. But I was so desperate. I was so desperate. I was like, the fuck do I have to lose? And I said it. I was like, with good to all and harm to none, $5,000 is on its way to me. And I really, in that moment, was like, I'm just going to test to see if this works. Like, let's see if this woo woo shit is real. The next day, I wake up to an email. It was like the COVID, it wasn't even like a stimulus check. It was, they were giving college students like random checks of $5,000. The next day, I woke up to that, and only some kids got it. And it was like a super delayed one too. I like thought I wasn't gonna get it, then like I randomly woke up and I got it. And I was like, there's just no fucking way. I was like, this has got to be a joke. Like, I was like, it's a little too coincidental, but I was like, all right, let's. And then I was like, well, if I can manifest 5,000, what else can I manifest?
And why do you consider that manifestation? Or even what is manifestation and what's not manifestation?
Mm. You know what's interesting? I feel like manifestation, you're right. It's kind of like, what is manifestation, right? Because part of it is like, there's the manifestations you work for and that you put in the effort towards. And then there's the manifestations like the one I just said, where it's like, I just spoke some words out loud and it showed up at my front doorstep. And I think manifestation is the unfolding of events the minute you decide something is yours. It's like the ability to turn thoughts into reality and intention into reality. Um, but I think like the true manifestation is like when things just like naturally happen without you lifting a finger.
And at this point, you are fully on board with that.
Now,
That exists. Yeah.
now 100% I believe it. Yeah.
What would you say to people who were kind of where you were at first that just
Yeah.
don't believe it at all?
Mm.
And maybe even have tried what you did with
Mm.
the I'm going to say these words and then it didn't work.
Mm. So I think what I would say is like, we all know our thoughts create our reality. Like, that is just a fact, right? The reticular activating system in the brain is going to constantly, it's like the minute I got bangs, I was like walking down the street, I'm like, oh, this girl has bangs and that girl has bangs. The minute I wanted a white Tesla, I was like, oh my God, I see white Teslas everywhere. And what you focus on will expand. And the beauty of manifestation is it's all psychological and it's also spiritual. Even if we remove the spiritual element, when you decide something is yours, you're going to start to see opportunities you have never seen. Like in plain sight, they've been sitting there and you just never took the opportunity. You're going to take more risk, right? You're going to like reach out to someone you wouldn't have reached out to. And so I would say just try it. Like be delusional for a week, be positive for a week and watch what happens.
It actually surprised me because I thought you would just say all of that without what you said before, which was the next level or the third level of it naturally comes to you. I
Mm.
would have thought you would say it just stops there. All it is you're saying these things, which actually bring things to you. It forces you to see it, it forces you to plan it, but it's nothing more than that. And that's
Mm.
plenty. But it sounds like there are other things there. What have you personally manifested in your life to this point?
So many things. So many. I mean, my whole life, my dream life. I mean, where do I begin? I would say the first crazy manifestation I had was the first video I posted on TikTok went viral. That was one of those like, I didn't do anything, right? Like, it's like how many people post on TikTok and their first videos flop.
What was the video?
It was like a tarot reading. Just like cards. I was like, the one you see is the one you're meant to hear. And I posted 3 of them and one of them got like 1 million views. Um, so it was like an immediate thing, right? And I wasn't even planning on it, but I was just like in the back of my head, I was like, we'll see what happens. I think this could go viral. Obviously, like my following on social media, it was very much a manifestation. My business, becoming a millionaire by the age of 23, multiple seven figure businesses. Like honestly, a lot of my manifestation has been business success. But then in love too, like I have manifested like people into my life. Like that's probably one of the craziest ones is like when you're like, I'm gonna manifest this person into my life, like even platonically. And then one day, a year later, you're like in a random place and you're like, oh, there you are, I've manifested my dream apartment. I've manifested insane opportunities. Insane opportunities. My friends manifested myself out of depression, like a lot of things.
What were you telling yourself before any of the manifestation that you think was almost the opposite of it that was holding all of this back from you if you weren't naturally on that path?
Dude, if I didn't make the mindset, a cool thing to think about is where would I be if I didn't start manifesting? If I didn't start manifesting, I would probably be still thousands of dollars in debt. I don't know where I would have lived. I actually don't even want to think about what my
What
life
were you
would have.
doing before then?
I was in college studying to be a teacher. And
What kind of teacher?
History teacher. But I wanted to be Secretary of Education. So this was like my life path. I really wanted to like change the world and reform the education system. But I would have just suffered. Honestly, I'm like, I really don't think I would have liked life at all. And that's really like painful to think. I don't even want to think about what that would have been. What was holding me back was I grew up like broke as fuck, like poor. My family immigrated here. We grew up in Brooklyn, New York, as you can imagine, with like four siblings, so like 5 kids. And my parents had just graduated or like they were taking on student loan debt. So they had student loan debt. It was a whole thing. And what was holding me back was like I feel like I grew up believing I had to suffer for money. I truly was like, that's all I see is like, you have to suffer to make just ends meet, right? And I believed like money was this difficult thing. Like it was like my enemy constantly in life. I looked at money, I was like, I hate you. Like you've ruined my life. I hate money. I hate the concept of money. And I believed rich people were evil. I felt so envious. I was like, I just felt this constant like I was a victim. Like really it just came down to like I felt like a victim being controlled by this concept of money. And it wasn't until I became like the victor and I was like, no, I control money, not the other way around. And I don't have to work hard for money. It just comes to me. When you delusionally start to believe that and you give it a chance to prove itself in your reality, it's like everything shifts.
What's so interesting to me is a lot of people, probably even me, are afraid to be delusional in the positive way.
Why?
But then, well, I think wanting to be delusional in any way, it's just like, why don't I just follow logic and reality? But we actively do it the other way, like what you were doing before, with all these things that just aren't true about money.
Yeah.
And we're delusional already. So why not at least be delusional in the right direction?
Oh, we are delusional. We are hypnotizing ourselves constantly. This is something no one thinks about. We are constantly being hypnotized and hypnotizing ourselves. Constantly. Like the way you grew up programmed you to be who you are. And you have to be extremely aware of that. Like just like, who am I being programmed to be? Who are my friends programming me to be? What are the YouTube videos I'm watching, the podcasts I'm listening to? What is all of this programming me to believe? You don't even realize that it's like you'll be on TikTok and you'll watch like the alpha male content, or you'll watch like like for the girlies, like there's like Shira 7 and it's like all men are evil.
Who is it?
This girl Shira 7.
Shira 7?
She's like kind of like the Andrew Tate for the girls, but like she's actually good. But anyways, but she'll say things like, or like that whole cult of girls, which like I'm kind of a part of, but they'll be like, men are evil, like, men are going to use you for your body. So like go, use them for money. And it's like, it's just like, but like, what are we hypnotizing ourselves to believe in? And then notice how your reality reflects that, right? And so it's like, if you're already being hypnotized you should be hypnotizing yourself to become successful, to manifest love, to, just be in control of what your mind sees, is perceiving.
So you grew up with a Slavic culture, it
Yeah.
sounds like. Why? What are sort of the tenets, or like, how do you describe Slavic culture?
I don't know if you ever met like a Slavic girl, but they're like women who are heavily in their masculine energy. Like they're feminine, like they might look feminine. I feel like I picked up on that a lot too, but like there's this energy of like anything could go wrong at any second. And you're always like, I will say Slavic culture can be very pessimistic. Like you even hear the language and you're like, it sounds like like when you say I love you, it sounds like we're arguing, Like it's like a very, and you know why? Because like, listen, like my family grew up in the Soviet Union, starvation, like my family, like it's just been like generations and generations of struggle and, this constant battle, this constant fight, right? For even just like peace. And I think Slavic culture, it definitely like there's this emphasis on like just like always preparing for the worst case scenario. And when you're expecting the worst case scenario, you start to attract it.
Growing up, what did that look like in your life?
Mm.
And
Um,
more actions than beliefs. Just like, how is it actually?
well, I mean, I think there was just this constant like energy of money doesn't grow on trees and um like scarcity mindset. Like that it was just like a big scarcity. And I'm curious, maybe you relate. It's like everything was constantly scarce. I was always like, I'm even in food, like even in the way I would like go to a birthday party and I was like, I have to eat everything on my plate because I don't know the next time I'm gonna have cake and pizza and like, and like that starts to seep into your life. And I'm like, wow, well, it's fascinating how years later I was like 20 pounds heavier and I had to like lose that weight. Why? I wonder because maybe in college, when I finally had an abundance of food in the dining hall, I started to stuff my fucking face because I grew up believing everything was in scarcity. I started to almost, I had this like reaction, right? I had this, it's subconscious. So like you have to understand like what is your subconscious mind programmed to believe because that's going to dictate your actions, the way you eat, the way you love, self-sabotage. Like we are constantly self-sabotaging in love because we're assuming someone's going to hurt us. So our subconscious is like, what can I do to not get hurt?
Did you know that these thoughts were in your head? Let's say in the dining hall. Were
No.
you aware of it?
No. And that's the scariest part is you are a slave to your subconscious mind. And until you recognize you're extremely aware of what it's doing to you, the fastest way to find out is to look at what's going wrong in your life. Right? I was like, well, I'm gaining weight. Okay, so it always starts in the mind. And so you can work that way or the better way is like before you get fat. Like let's just be aware of where am I acting out of scarcity? Where am I? And I think the root cause of all problems, money, love, health is always scarcity.
And what kind of triggered even like wanting something more than all of that? Was there any person that you met that you said, I want that? I want to be like that person?
So I went to college, like I went to a college where there were a lot of rich kids. I went to school in Boston. So like in general, like I was, partying with MIT kids, Harvard kids, and I was just like, these kids are so wealthy. Like they come from such money. I'd walk around campus and everyone's wearing a Canada Goose jacket. And I'm like, I'm wearing the jacket I thrifted 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like I have holes in it. So like I was just like, wow, I've walked down campus for 5 minutes and I have seen maybe $50,000 worth of Canada Goose jackets on this walk. That is insane. You start to see abundance. And there's two ways you can look at that. You can look at that and be envious and jealous and feel like a victim, which I did. Or you can look at that and be like, this is a sign of what I could become. And for me, I think I felt like a victim until one day I was like, this is so, I just hate this feeling. And I just want to change my life.
Why do you believe it was possible though? Because you're seeing all those people and they clearly grew up like this is in college. They didn't do
They
anything.
didn't do anything.
Why would you not just conclude that obviously they were born with the silver spoon? I wasn't, and now that's what it is.
Well, I accepted that I was born a certain way, you know, and I didn't deny like their luck. But I was like, well, I am in this very critical time in my life where I actually can change a lot. Like I was like, okay, I am like in college to like get a job. Like I can like do things. I was tutoring at the time. I had a lot of like students and I was like, well, if I could like it's just like I think being an entrepreneur makes you so aware of the abundance in the world, and I think that's why like anyone who's into manifesting, you have to become an entrepreneur at some point because it just shows you how infinite the concept of wealth is and success and growth. And so like even something as simple as like I was tutoring students at the time and I was like, well, I have this student who I'm tutoring for, you know, $20 an hour. I have this student, that student. I'm like, well, if I just like get more students, then I'll get more money. If I can make $20, I can make 100. If I can make 100, I can make 1,000. If I can make 1,000, I can make 10,000, you know? And I was like, I could charge more. I could get better. I could offer, you know, this or that. It just like made me realize I was like, yes, I can't change the fact that I'm like in debt, that this fucking sucks, that like I am broke right now. But I was like, okay, but I have this way out. And it really wasn't until TikTok. And as soon as I started TikTok, that was ultimate like mindset expansion for me and possibility.
When you saw the Canada Goose jackets, a very common reaction, I think, in addition to what you were saying, is that it's wasteful. It's wasteful. Why are you going to spend $1,200 on a coat, $10,000 on a coat? I don't want that. In addition to like disgusting or being jealous of it, why? What's the point of being super rich?
So I think it's less about being financially rich and it's more about being having an abundance mindset. So for me, it wasn't that I wanted a Canada Goose jacket. I actually didn't. I haven't owned one ever in my life. For me, it was the concept of I want to be able to look at something I want in life and know I have the power to attract it into my reality. Whether it be by buying it, whether it be by having a brand deal, like whatever. I just wanted to know that nothing could stop me, come in the way of me getting what I desire. And what you desire is going to be different than what Stacy desires or Susan or whatever, right? But for me, it was like I don't ever want to look at a Canada Goose jacket mind you, it's Boston. It's freezing fucking cold. I have only now discovered at the age of 25 that the reason I was freezing my ass off and I hated the cold was because I just never discovered a wool coat. Like I just didn't even know that was a thing, right? So like, but my point is, I just never wanted to look at someone's life and feel like a victim, feel like I would never have the ability to call that in. So it's more about how do I have an abundance, have the ability to attain things. That to me is wealth. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's not about the number in your bank account. To me, it's can you call what you want into your reality?
And like agency over your life.
Yes,
basically.
agency. Like agency is wealth. Yes, 100%. The ability to make your reality exactly what you desire. Yeah.
And at this point, would you say that it's worked for you? Because obviously you got the things you manifested.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever met someone with this mindset of like, I want exactly what I want and I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
Who, when I'm talking to them in real life, is not like, and now I want this and now I don't have that. So it didn't actually work.
Yeah. I would say I am actually so content with my life. Like I am first of all, the happiest I've ever been. I wake up every day. To me, wealth is gratitude too, right? Like I wake up with such extreme gratitude for my life. First of all, I'm just like, I feel so blessed. In the last however many years I've called in. I mean, I just look at where I was even 6 months ago, let alone 3 years ago. It is so crazy how fast you can change your life, how fast you can literally change everything. Like I think another limiting belief people have is time. Time isn't real. you could marry rich and be rich tomorrow. Like, you know, you could be a billionaire tomorrow if you just marry a billionaire. Like, there is so, and I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying we need to expand what we believe is possible. You will, like, if you want it, the universe will give you a way to get it. That's the first concept you need to understand. So yeah, I think there isn't, I never look at my life and think I'm missing something anymore. I look at my life grateful for what I have and excited for what I'm calling in. It's not coming from a place of lack, it's coming from a place of excitement. And that's the difference. Whereas back then it was like, I don't have this, I want this. It's like now it's like, I already have this. Great, I'm so happy. How much bigger can I go?
And also, you believe that it's going to work out, which I think
100%.
for most people, especially entrepreneurs, it's like, I want this huge thing and I don't know if it's going to work out, which
Right.
is more anxiety inducing than like
And do you,
happiness inducing.
yes. And do you know why believing something is going to work out is so powerful? Because if I told you, like I always give this example, but it's like if I told you right now that the next lottery ticket you would get is a winning lottery ticket, the first thing you're doing right now is you're going to go get a lottery ticket. You haven't gotten a lottery ticket in the last 23 years of your life. But the reason why is simply because I gave you the belief that it would work out. Now you've taken the action, right? It's a risk. You still might not. I don't know. I might be lying to you. But the fact that I told you that, the fact that you believe that gave you enough energy mentally to go and take the actions necessary to even have a chance. And so the minute you start to believe something is possible, now your brain gives you, or your behavior shifts. You start acting like a winner. You start moving like a winner. And the only person who wins is the person who just moves like a winner every single day, regardless of if it's a good day, a bad day. Sales are up, sales are down. You have to move like you're winning every day. The minute sales start going down and you start moving out of a state of desperation, you've fucked yourself over.
Yeah. One thing I want to get into all the TikTok growth and the business growth.
Mm-hmm.
But first, you said time isn't real.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I've seen manifestation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if it all works and it works so well, why can't we just leave it at the things that make sense? Why does it
Yeah.
always have to get taken to the extreme of reality does not exist? Why can't we say reality does exist and you can make more out of your time? And these limiting beliefs are wrong. But it always gets turned into these like the short bits that sound really good, but ends up just not being true.
Like what? Like what?
Even that, do you believe time is not real?
I
In
believe,
the real sense of what those words mean.
like kind of, because what is time?
I don't know enough to actually give the good definition, but whatever keeps moving us along as everything keeps moving, spinning.
On a physics level, time is a very interesting concept because you can, I'll give you this example. When you look up at the stars in the sky, are they there at night?
Sounds like probably not.
Well, you're
But
looking
yes,
at them. You
yes,
see
they're
them. They
there.
look real.
Yeah.
They look like they're there. But we're actually looking at something that's light years away. It's not actually there. If you were to go there at this exact moment in time, it's not there. The concept of time is very flexible. It's not that it's not real. It's that time is more so, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, the question to ask is not, is time real? It's like, is believing in the concept of time even benefiting you? And like, how does the concept of time play into your reality? What's more important than time is perception, because you see the stars in the sky, but they're not actually there. So like, you know what I mean? Sorry, if that was
Meaning it's
confusing.
referring to the construct, not
Right.
It's not saying time does not exist. It's saying the way you perceive time isn't accurate.
Exactly. And that's what it is like, our concept of time is heavily molded by what we've been hypnotized to believe.
It's a cool example.
It is a cool example. That's why I named my app Stella, because it's star in Latin. And it's like the whole concept is like, you like something doesn't actually have to even be here for it to be real yet. And if you believe in something, it is real. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
what I'm
what
thinking
is
of
reality?
Is like even when a plane flies over,
Yeah.
and that's a couple thousand feet,
Yeah.
you hear it and then you look up and it's not there anymore.
Right.
Or maybe it's the opposite, but like You're
Time
experiencing
is
it being there, and it's not there anymore.
exactly.
When did you start? What was the order? TikTok, and then is all the business connected through TikTok,
So
or did one start before the other?
I started posting on TikTok. Again, I had no intention of like becoming a business owner. I had no like I just like did this as a I started almost like as a joke. I don't even remember why I started, but I was like I got super into tarot. And so I started posting like tarot card stuff and went viral with that. And then immediately people were like, I'll pay you anything. Give me a tarot reading. And I was like, dude, I don't know the first thing about business, but I'm gonna have to figure out. And so I started like taking payment on Cash App. I was like, I don't know, I was doing some bootleg operation and I was selling out in seconds. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to, I would have like, I was like, I don't even have the time to do the amount of readings I'm selling out. And I was like, I'm gonna have to raise my prices. Eventually I was like charging a lot of money for these readings just because I was like, I can't. I mean, I don't have the time.
Can we
And
pause for a sec? What is a tarot reading, and how does it work?
Um, it's have you seen tarot cards like psychics? They
I've
do.
only seen the cards on your channel, and I
They're
just see
so
like
fun.
these different symbols.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So there's 78 cards. Each card represents like a different message, and like they follow kind of like it's actually very Kabbalistic. But it's a whole art form. It's kind of like you have like for example you have like the lovers card and that represents love and decisions and like whatever. So if you get the lovers card, it might be like oh like you have love in your future or like you're focused on love or whatever. You have like the emperor card and the emperor card focuses on like leadership and power and so um it just represents different themes of life and how you use the cards. It's like you could use it as like a fortune telling thing, or you could use it as like a, more like to like suss out like how does this person feel about me? Let's see.
So these people are coming to you to get the reading with either their life or some specific scenario,
Yeah.
and they're saying, "I'm going to come to you. You're going to read it and tell me some idea of what I can do next
Yeah.
or what's
Yeah.
happening."
So I was booking out these tarot readings and I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I guess I have to like start a business. Like I didn't even set up an LLC at that point, but then I started getting brand deals. That was when like the concept of manifestation really started and like how time is a construct, how money and abundance is a construct. That's when it really started to hit for me because I will never forget. I was working with some pretty cool brands at the time. A lot were like for like movies like Warner Media and like a bunch of like whatever. And they have like big budgets. And I'll never forget I was like I was friends with this girl who like was an influencer too and she was doing brand deals and I was like, how much do you think I should charge? And she's like, why don't you ask for like like why don't you throw out a crazy number and see what they say? And I was like, let's do $30,000 for this brand deal. And they were like, yeah, sounds good. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I
What were
made
you at the time with
like
your?
maybe a less than a million or just maybe over a million. I don't remember. Like somewhere in the ballpark of a million followers.
And it was for one
It
one
was like
clip.
maybe like an Instagram post, a TikTok post, and like I don't know. It was like, listen, whatever it was, it took me maybe less than like 2 hours to do. And I was like, oh, I just paid off my entire year of tuition in an hour.
Of probably work that was easy for you
That was a
at the time.
joke. Like it was like I was like, okay, this is like, and do you understand? Like I'm coming from poverty. I'm thousands of dollars in debt. I'm coming from the mindset of like I'm gonna be a teacher and make that amount in 12 months, not an hour. That was when everything shifted for me, and I was like, you just have to believe. Like you have to have the conviction long enough for the universe to open that door for you. The biggest problem people have is they can't even conceptualize how. Why I love manifestation is the whole point of manifestation is decide what you want and say fuck the how. Your biggest op is the fact that you're looking for how it's supposed to come in. Like this is the biggest thing holding people back is they're like, your how is extremely limited by what you've been hypnotized to believe, by your limiting beliefs, by your upbringing. When you remove the concept of how this is supposed to come in, suddenly the shortcut shows up and you wouldn't have seen it. You would not have seen it. This is why I don't like thinking in terms of reality. This is why I don't think logically. Because when I think logically, I think to make $30,000, what would I have thought in that moment? I have to do 50,000 fucking tarot readings. And I was like, no, I'm going to let the universe show me the easier way to pay off my tuition. And then boom.
It's so crazy. Even, and it's kind of the same thing like with the logic.
Mm-hmm.
We know that if we revert to our own logic, we're going back into all the voices that were there before and what everyone else is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you grow up or you're surrounded by like those Harvard students for 30 years and then you revert to your own logic, maybe it'll get you to the right place.
Exactly.
But also at the same time, these things are happening all the time. So it's not just that we can't see it. The assumption that you can't make $30,000 in 2 hours is just wrong. Like, it's not true. People are doing it all the time.
Exactly. And I think like this is the thing is like everything is possible. Like that's what it comes down to is every reality is possible. And even if it isn't possible, you can make it possible. Dude, planes didn't exist. Okay, so someone was like, I'm going to make a plane. First principles thinking, right? Amazon didn't exist. Like all of this, like everything didn't exist until someone was delusional enough to be like, let's make something fly in the sky. What the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, you have to be the person to be delusional enough to come up with something like that. There's that aspect. And then there's also like the aspect of like, I don't know why we're trying to think logically when like we were all born, like the concept of our life existing, like how the fuck are humans made? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that logical to you? Like that kind of defies everything I feel like I know about logic. You mean I just like have sex and then I have a kid? Like what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, we're like, oh, it's crazy to make $30,000. And dude, you made a human life, a soul that didn't exist on this planet. Doing what? Like, I'm like, people are way too realistic, you know? Crazy.
So you have all these tarot readings coming in, and now the brand deals.
Yeah, and then
and that's around the same time?
Around the same time, I started doing the brand deals. I had to quit. Like, I was working like 3 jobs at the time. I was like I was student teaching. I was doing like whatever research at my college. I was tutoring. I had to like, that was hard. I had to like let go of my students, but I was like, I see a big opportunity. And so that was a risk, right? I think sometimes we're faced with that in life. It's like, are you willing to give up the safer option in pursuit of the riskier option? And so I had to do that because I just like physically didn't have the time.
Can we also actually just pause there for a second? Because a lot of the manifestation at face value, it seems like all you do is you're going to say these things, say it into the mirror, say it to yourself, then it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're doing these things, you're working 3 side jobs.
Yeah. Well, but that's not what manifested me the money, right? You know what I mean?
I'm saying more just for anyone who's saying like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. Clearly the right way to do it. Unless you're saying that was all wrong and it'll just come to you.
So the thing about manifestation is you need to just follow your intuition. Like so the way I kind of look at it, I'll explain manifestation on like a formulaic level. You decide what you want. You decide it with full-blown conviction. You delusionally believe it will happen at all costs. Doesn't matter. It does not matter what your circumstances look like. It will happen, period. If you can hold that conviction, what's going to happen is now there is infinite parallel universes, right? And what I mean by that is not in like Delulu land way. I mean like literally there is a version of you that's fat in the future and there's a version of you that's skinny. There's a version of you that's a billionaire if you take a certain amount of steps, right? And there's a version of you that ends up homeless. Every version of you exists in the quantum field for the future. When you manifest, you are choosing a certain timeline. And what happens is when you choose it, a certain series of events is going to unfold. Your intuition, your soul, when you decide that timeline, shows you the way there. So that's all that's happening is the minute you manifest, the minute you decide, that series of events is going to unfold. And when you manifest, you start to like subconsciously take the steps through your intuition that will get you there, the easiest way there, right? Unless you start to doubt, then you're going to end up where your doubt is. If you doubt that you can become a millionaire, then you will not become a millionaire. So that's all it does, is it creates what we call the bridge of incidences. And so like for me, I was like, I want to become a millionaire. So for me to become a millionaire, I had to first go viral. So I had this intuitive calling to post on TikTok. You follow that, boom.
What does that feel like? An
It's
intuitive
like
call.
this all-knowing, all-consuming feeling of I have to do this. Like you just know. You know, it's a calling that's so loud you can't ignore it. And it feels like it's not even something you want to do as much as something you feel like you have to. You know, it's like you start to like want to. Like you're like, I'm obsessed with this. This is so fun. Like I want to do this, right? It just feels right. It feels like the right decision, even if it logically doesn't make sense. And we've all had a moment like that where we decided to do something that maybe logically didn't make sense, but our intuition, our gut was like, I feel like this is the right choice. I feel like this is going to work out. Me going to college was a dumb decision, to be honest. Taking out that much fucking student loan debt to go away and like live in dorms and like take, that was kind of dumb. My intuition though felt like it would work out.
What's the source of the intuition?
I think God or some higher power, but I also think it's you. Like your conviction creates the intuition because you're kind of just acting, if you think your future self too. It's kind of like intuition, I always say, is like your future self whispering to you. The version of you who's already a millionaire whispering to you. She's telling you what to do.
It's like the interstellar Matthew McConaughey tapping on the.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so that's all it is like your intuition's always going to tell you to do the thing that you've decided you want, right? Yeah. It's also like feminine, deep-seated like feminine energy. It's like, mother's intuition. It's like when moms just know something and it's like, how the fuck did she know that her kid was sick and like, whatever. It's also like ingrained biologically into you. Your intuition is there to protect you too, right? So that's why it's important sometimes to trust your gut on like if someone feels off or like whatever and it doesn't make sense. It's evolutionary too.
In a regular, I don't know why, I'm just thinking about the card readings.
Yeah.
What happens? You sit down, and what's the flow of that?
So someone
Session.
asks a question, and I don't believe the tarot defines everything about your life, like your future. I don't think it defines your future. I think it tells you what your current energy is calling in. So it'll like, you can ask a question like, how does this person feel about me? And if you get like the lovers and the blah, 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 it's like, oh, this person's really into you, versus if you get some other cards, it's like, I don't know if he likes you. It doesn't mean it's like your set in stone path. It's more same with astrology. I don't think astrology defines your future. I think it's just like the pool of energy you're working with.
And the idea is that when you're moving the cards around, that energy will pull in.
No, it's just it's almost like an energy read. It just like kind of gets a sense of the energy going on. It doesn't change anything.
But it's not caused by it. It's not caused by the fact that the person is sitting there.
It is like if you're reading on that person, right? So, yeah.
I saw something about you have a video on the Stan Store?
Yes,
as
I
like a
do.
top creator on the Stan Store?
Yeah.
Did that happen before or after Stella?
Way before.
Way
Yeah.
before.
So I started with the tarot readings. That was the first thing I did. And then I started posting more manifestation content. I do like all spiritual content, but at that time I'd started posting more about affirmations, manifestation methods, and I would get so many DMs from people being like, how do I manifest this? Or like, they'd be like, this very niche specific questions about manifestation, or they're like, I tried this method and I can't believe it. Like, I don't feel the conviction. Like, do you have advice? And I was like, why don't I just like make a course? Because I'm not going to be able to explain this in 60 seconds, right? So I made my first course, which was called Manifest Magic Workshop. And yeah, and that course made me 7 figures. So yeah, it was really fun. I've made a lot of other courses since then as well, but it's, yeah. I mean, I studied to be a teacher. I might as well use that skill,
That's so awesome.
So awesome. 100% profit margins, pretty much.
I just realized that I meant to ask more about TikTok. How did you grow it? How long did it take you, and what was the path like to a
Yeah,
million?
so it's interesting because TikTok,
Or Instagram, all of it.
hmm TikTok way back was like, oh my God, it was a quantum leap. Like you'd post one video and get like 40,000 followers overnight. Like it's crazy. So it was really fast to get to a million, even to 2 million. And ever since it's been kind of like slower, just because it's also, you have to think about it like the total addressable market. I've probably tapped into like a good majority of English speaking women who like manifestation at this point. It's like, so that's part of it, right?
Which is, what would you assume that is?
What do you
What
mean?
number?
Um, in the US, I think I haven't actually touched all of them, but that number, damn, I don't know how many people live in the US.
I have no
I have
idea.
no idea. I haven't even, yeah, I've definitely not even touched a fraction of
300
that.
million? 330 million.
330 million live in the US. So it's probably maybe like 50 million. Yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, my point is like, it was really
Well, you've
fast.
reached those people for
I've
sure.
definitely reached, yeah, I've definitely like over time my content is probably I've generated over 1 billion views on TikTok, which is super cool. Um with TikTok, yo, honestly, the strategy has changed so much lately. It's so, and I will say Instagram is where it's at now because it's just so much more high converting and so much more personal, and you like own your audience a lot more on Instagram than you do on TikTok. So I would tell everyone like prioritize Instagram Reels right now above everything. Um, but how to grow
And for you, how long did it take to get to 10,000 on Instagram?
on Insta, like very fast, extremely fast.
Are we like days,
It could
weeks?
be days. I've grown certain accounts to like 10,000 in a day, in like
Why
two
do you think
days
it grew so fast?
because I just know what goes viral. I just know I have this like muscle memory around it, and I just like it's intuition to me. What goes viral, I mean, you know this very well. A lot of your videos go viral. Controversy, shock, novelty. You have to say something that stops people from scrolling and gives them a reason to stay to the end, right? So if you could say some crazy fucking shit, I think the virality lives in the intersection of um, saying the thing that everyone wants to know or wants to believe or agrees with, but that no one's willing to say. If you can find what that thing is and say it, you will go viral, right? So there has to be shock factor, novelty. There has to, or you have to evoke an extreme emotion out of people. So I think the main reason I've gone viral so many times is because I evoke extreme emotion. My tarot readings are like, oh my God, like, fuck, she's giving me so much hope, or like, I've never felt so seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one piece of it. With my manifestation videos, a lot of the times I'll be like, here's how to manifest a text in 20 seconds, and it's like, whoa, like I want to find out. And they have to listen to the end to figure out how to do it. So watch time super important. Make your videos shorter. That's a piece of advice I could give everyone is like, you're just yapping for too long.
What's too long, usually?
Like try to keep it. The thing is some videos have to be longer, right? But like I would say every sentence you say has to be earned on TikTok. It's just like if it doesn't have to be there, take it out. Cut out all like dead air, cut out like literally like you want people like everyone's ADHD right now as fuck. So like every fucking word needs to be earned. Every second needs to be earned. It has to have a reason to be there. If every sentence isn't making people want to stay more, you're doing it wrong.
If you could get into the head of someone who's watching it, maybe it's
Mm.
also you.
Mm-hmm.
What do they want? Because I know for me, if I sit down on Instagram, I'm not like, right now I need to see
Right.
a manifestation video.
Right. So people don't come on Instagram or TikTok for that. Some do. Some probably are searching up like I am, they're going through a breakup and they're like, I want to manifest my ex back. They're looking
Mhm.
that up. I think you need to create a problem. The key to business is make people aware they have a problem. People have problems. We all have problems. We just sometimes aren't aware there is a problem and that there exists a solution. So for example, I'll give you an example, like, like some of the best, for example, like QVC ads. How do they sell on QVC on that TV? You know what QVC
No.
is? It's like that channel that you would watch on where they would like sell like a million things. You call the hotline to order.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Or TikTok Shop even, right? You're watching TikTok Shop and it's like, how are they going to sell you this like what's a pop in TikTok Shop products except mine?
Nicotine patches.
Sure, nicotine
Or
package.
nicotine gum.
Nicotine gum. Yeah, that's a big one. Neural gum, whatever. No one is going on TikTok being like, I need neural gum. You need to make them aware you need to make them feel as though they don't want this, they need this. You need to give them a reason that they need it. So you could say something like, you ever, you ever go to start, doing your task, your to-do list, and then suddenly you're on TikTok for 15 minutes and then 15 minutes turns into an hour. And then you're looking and you're like, holy fuck, I looked at my to-do list and I got nothing fucking done. And then, I needed to do this task and like, I know I need to do it, but like, and then I'm doing unproductive shit and like the whole, whatever. You basically make people aware they have a problem. You need to say something where they're like, I relate to this. Yes. Right. And then you're like, same. I started using this and now I'm fucking locked in. And now this and now that, social proof, right? And my friend Susie started using it. I mean, she's dialed now. So you need to first make people aware they have a problem, right? So in my content, I'll be like, here's how to manifest a text, even if you're in no contact. They're like, oh shit, I am no contact. Even if you haven't talked to this person in years, even if they don't know you exist, I've tried this method and it works every time. And they're like, wait, I'm no contact with this guy. I didn't even know I could manifest a text from him, right? There's a sensationalism to it. So yeah, make them aware they have a problem and make them believe they can, not just give them a solution, make them believe they will have that problem solved.
If you had to take a group of, if you're even dividing it into niches, so you have like NASCAR interested people,
Yeah.
or F1, and then you have manifestation interested.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be different about those two groups? About like what they want in general, not even when they're sitting down.
To go on Instagram or
even outside of Instagram, just what they want in life or what their pain points are.
This is a big thing. Is with business, the best businesses solve one of the core human pain points. It doesn't matter if you're a NASCAR driver. It doesn't matter if you're a manifestation girl. It doesn't matter if you live in Tennessee. Like, we all have core human needs. We all want to get laid. We all want to find love. We all want to be healthy. We all want to feel purpose in life. We all want financial abundance. And I would say, and we all want to feel important in the world. And if you can solve any one of those, or have convenience is a big one that solves. If you can solve one of those core human pain points and desires, you will always have a successful business. Your podcast studio, the reason it's successful is because people want to feel important. When you're on a podcast, you feel pretty important. People want to make more money. Boom, you solve two of those, right? Dating apps, they're successful because everyone wants to find their love of their life. People want to feel needed. And when you start to understand the psychology of like what gets people to move, that's when you win. Like there's pain points you could solve that aren't as the best pain points to solve in business are the ones that like your biology is designed to make you move on it, right? Like your business is going to like 10x when you're creating or solving a problem that evolutionarily the human body is looking to solve, or like, so like you're working with human biology on your side. Yeah.
So what is the right way to manifest?
The right way to manifest is you decide what you want. Ask yourself what limiting beliefs you have around it that could be holding you back. You need to decide it is yours. You need to say, fuck the how. And you need to believe with full-blown conviction that it is 100% going to happen. And you need to do whatever it takes to believe that, right? Because if you're like, Okay, me saying it every day is not making me believe it. So then what can we do to make you believe it? Because an assumption, though false, if persisted into, will harden into fact.
One more
Your
time.
An assumption, though false, if persisted into, will harden into fact. Everything in your reality is simply an assumption you once had manifested into reality. You're constantly manifesting the assumptions that you have about the world, about yourself, about the way things happen. And so you have to just be hyper aware of like, what are my assumptions around everything? What am I assuming is going to happen here? And so I would say, in order to manifest anything, um, like, what can you do to make yourself believe this delusionally? Right.
And what are
And
the common practices?
so, I mean, there's a ton of methods that you could do. One of the most common ones is scripting, where you basically write like a diary entry from your future self as if you're her today, being like, today I woke up in my dream apartment. I'm looking out my floor to ceiling windows, and you like embody that energy as if it's already yours. My app, obviously, basically what my app does is it'll create these like really delusional stories you can listen to from your future self. So like, let's say for you, it'll be like the day you call your mom, whatever her name is, and she like congratulates you and she's so excited the day you like, so it's like, and you listen to this and you're like, dude, not only do I want this, I can see myself there. And you start to realize you're like, that version of me exists in the quantum field. Like the version of you that makes a million and the version of you that makes a billion exists in the quantum field. The question isn't, is it possible? It's like, do you want that? And when you decide that and you're like, I just can hold on to that belief that it is mine no matter what, no matter if I have a good day, a bad day, I'm going to move like it is my destiny every day. I'm going to move. One of my favorite methods too is like, similar to my app, but it's like a time machine method where you like close your eyes, you envision yourself walking into a time machine, experiencing the future version of you where you are a millionaire or whatever, right? You come back out of the time machine, now you're in the present. Well, if you already experienced that moment and you know it's happening, you don't know how, you don't know what happened from today till then, but you just know it's going to happen, you're going to move very differently today. And so the next step of manifestation is identity work. You have to embody the identity of a millionaire to become a millionaire, right? You need to have the confidence of a millionaire. You need to walk and talk like one. You need to like move like one. You need to make decisions and risks like one. So embodying that identity is also super important. Um, and when you combine all of that, it happens. And it's going to happen in two ways. It's going to happen one through acting out of intuition, right? So the minute you feel a calling, that's your future self speaking to you. That's the millionaire version of you telling you what to do. You got to do it, right? And so it's part that, but it's also going to be part like your energy attracts certain things to you. We are all magnets of our mind. And so like when you are like, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire, you have that energy. Suddenly you start having conversations with the right people. Suddenly you end up in a certain room at a certain time. Everything falls into place. So it's the combination of you like dancing with the universe to create this, you dancing with God. It's not just one or the other, it's both of you. You're co-creating with God constantly.
Yeah, it's interesting for me because even in business, like right now where we're at
Yeah.
is just that assumption that we can get on this path. Even though at this point we haven't done much.
Yeah.
But in my mind still, we're like, no, we're on this path. We're doing that.
Yeah.
So this is worth doing the next thing. Investing in general is like that.
Exactly.
What could I get wrong in manifestation?
To start thinking pretty realistically
Is wrong. Don't
is
do
wrong.
that.
Don't do that. Um,
What do you do when that comes up? When I'm just like, what do I do next?
what do you do? I would say sometimes you don't have to do anything. Like that's the point of manifesting. Like that's the cool part of manifesting is sometimes you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is hold that assumption, hold the conviction, and let the work be done for you. Sometimes it'll be obvious. The thing about manifesting is it's going to be very obvious what you're supposed to do. If you truly hold on to the conviction, it'll be very obvious. The most important thing you have to do is hold faith. Like that truly is your only job. The better question is like, how do I like what do I do on bad days? Because not every day is going to be rainbows and butterflies. It's like, how do you hold that conviction on the day that, no one's booking the studio or this, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you hold that conviction? And when you're so in tune with the version of you who's already a millionaire, when you can see her or him, when you can see that version of you, you know what his apartment looks like. You know what his phone, like texting messages, like contact names look like. You can feel like you feel that version of you's energy so profoundly, so deeply. One bad day is not going to change the way you move. But when you're not in tune with that version of you and that's shaky, you're giving more power to the problem in front of you. And you're going to move out of a state of desperation. It's kind of like chess, right? Life is like a game of chess where it's like you might be in a really shitty position on the board right now, right? You might have like a pawn that someone could go take your pawn right now. Have you played chess?
Yeah, but I'm terrible at it.
Okay, me too.
It takes a lot of memory. I'm
oh
just
my
like,
God, it's so much
I
work.
can't memorize openings.
I know but like someone could go take your pawn right now. Oh, like, or yeah, someone could, or even a better example is like, you have the bishop, right? Or yeah, let's say you have a knight, whatever. You can go take with your knight someone's pawn. And you might, out of a state of desperation or like whatever, not thinking about the end game, you might go take that pawn, not even realizing the queen can go take your knight in the next step, right? And so you made a fucking mistake. And you move very differently on the chessboard when you know what the end goal is, which is just checkmate, right? Same with life. It's like if you know that the only goal is that the goal is like, I want to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire no matter what. I know that's going to happen. Like there's just actually no other reality. So then when you know that's your destiny, you don't act from desperation on a bad day. You don't move differently. You move like you're winning every single day. And that's a very different energy. It's also very magnetizing. It magnetizes people to you. When you're in winner's frequency, everyone wants to be around you. By the way, I don't know if you noticed that. When you're winning, suddenly everyone wants to be your friend. And so, but that's life, right? Like everything's drawn to you when you're winning. But winning isn't a thing. It's just an energy. You ever meet someone and they like have this energy about them where you're like, wow, they like have a big game. And then you like actually look into it and you're like, you don't actually do anything, but you just have this aura that like you're the big guy. It's a thing.
And that's good to do.
Yeah, like don't be like
because I'm
asshole.
in here in this podcast student. I see probably 4 of these a day.
Yeah.
4 podcasts. And I get to see a lot of people, and some people come in and I'm like, well, I don't really know what they're really doing, but some people are very, very confident.
Yeah.
And my assumption is somewhere down the line, especially reality TV people.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you walked out of the room, you didn't see all those people were really mad at you and are like, want you off the show now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it worked out in your head, but it may also backfire.
Yeah. I mean, don't be an asshole, but it's more about just when you have the confidence that something's going to work out. Like, I think, for example, when dating, right? Like, it's so attractive in a man when, like, he might be broke, but if he has this, like, insane delusional, not like delusional in the sense that I'm like, okay, you've done nothing in your life and you play video games all day and, like, whatever. But, like, when someone has the mindset of, I'm going to make this happen or I'm going to die trying, they always win. I've never seen someone have that mindset and not win. Like if you're committed and you know no matter what this is going to happen because I've decided it for myself, I'm willing to do the work, but I'm also willing for it to like happen for me. You always win. I've never seen someone have that mindset and not win or get something better.
There's one question from Raphael, who's in the studio. We're a really small team. He's one of the 5 people here. And let me see if I can remember the question. It was, if you manifest the wrong thing, can it happen for you still?
Yes.
I think it's something along those lines. And what about if you're manifesting something that's bad for you?
Yeah.
Is there some force that's going to stop it from coming to you?
So yes and no. Truthfully, I have manifested things that were not good for me. I'm like, I really want this guy, even though I know he's not good for me. And I have manifested him. And then I was like, that was kind of a mistake. sometimes you have to learn the lesson the wrong way, the hard way, right? So truthfully, yes, you can manifest the wrong thing into your life. And sometimes there isn't going to be a force that comes in and stops it, if I'm being honest. And if I'm being honest, I would say I believe that in that more than the latter, which is some force is going to stop it to protect you. Because I just think everything is a reflection of your mind. I think everything is like your entire reality is just a projection of what you are convicted in. That being said, sometimes you manifest the wrong guy in only to lose him again because you didn't learn the lesson you were supposed to learn, which is he's a shitty guy, or whatever it may be. And you'll just keep relearning the lesson until you wake up one day and you're like, wait, I actually deserve better than this. So I think we always come, but then again, honestly, sometimes things did fall out of my life just for a better thing to come in. Because sometimes I think you think you're manifesting this, but actually what you're manifesting is you're not actually manifesting that guy. You're manifesting feeling needed, feeling wanted by someone. And so the universe will give you that, but maybe not just not with the guy who couldn't give it to you. You know what I mean?
Meaning it's the overall rule is it's all up to whatever your thoughts are,
Yeah.
but it's still in your subconscious. So if you think you're saying things,
Yeah.
when you're also feeling things that you just don't realize, that's what you're manifesting.
Yes. Yeah.
You also said you believe in another level of all of this manifestation that's not, because to me this all seems pretty vanilla. It's like
yeah. We're talking the vanilla
this
stuff
is
right
reality.
now. Yeah.
I live in the same reality as you do
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah.
Where do you think that separates?
I'm going to be honest. So this is where we get into the real shit. Like that's the vanilla stuff. That's the psychology 101. This could all be proven by, textbooks. I also believe in like miracles. That's the way I could put it. Like, I just believe that sometimes crazy shit happens simply because you aligned your energy with something. You stepped into a certain frequency. You believed something into existence. So, like, I mean, I could tell you a million stories of this, but like, there have been things that have happened in my life that I manifested that truly on a statistical level should not have happened. Even where I am today statistically is very unlikely in the way that it happened. I'm not saying people can't work to become but to the speed that it happened in and with the level of effort that it took me, it's so statistically abysmal that it's almost like you have to almost attribute it to something else, right? I think that's because truthfully, there's also other elements where it's like, why did this person come in? Like my co-founders for my app, for example, I manifested that. Like I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and in dating sometimes, like I'll meet people where I'm like, I manifested this moment. Like, why are we bumping into each other? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, I do believe that like God can do something for me without me lifting a finger. And I have. Like, I truly have. I've seen miracles play out in my life and in the lives of others. And it's, yeah.
Just on the first part, I always, whenever anyone's talking about entrepreneurs and business and even TikTok creators or Instagram creators, if you're talking about the statistics, you actually have to look at like someone with your intelligence and motivation. What are the statistics for that person?
That's true. That's
Where
actually a good point.
It might have been a pretty good chance that you succeeded.
On what though?
Even if you just had to look at how many people there are like you in that situation, how many of them would win, how many of them would lose?
That's true. However, I think it's not in a vacuum, right? Because I had so many things working against me too. Like my debt, right? Or like if you think about it, just even that alone, most people, no matter how motivated, like I'm not going to try to call people out, but like I have friends who like we all started in the same position. We all grew up broke, Brooklyn, immigrant, the whole thing. We all went into debt. And I look at where I'm at and I look at where they're at. And that's not to call them out. Like I think we're all on our own path, but it's like they didn't do certain things because they didn't have the confidence it would work out. So they went the safer route. They went into corporate, they went into whatever. I just had this insane delusional confidence that it would work out, that I was willing to take the risk to like take out the student loans and also move across the country to LA. And like, I didn't know a single person there. And I like spent a lot of money on rent and like, so I did all these like fucking crazy things and it all added up. Most people, doesn't matter how motivated, doesn't matter how intelligent, don't have that type of risk tolerance and belief that things would just like work out. And they have. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to.
In business, what lessons do you think you've learned
Mm-hmm.
that you see a lot of people walking around that just don't understand?
So many things. Oh my God. I mean, where do I begin? I think the first thing is it's like so much easier than people think. I think people think business is hard. It's not. It's the most rewarding work that you could ever do. You get to monetize what excites you.
And we're really just talking about like business is just making money, basically.
Yeah. First of all, I think like it gets to be easy if you decide to monetize what excites you. I think your unfair advantage in life as a business owner, or as a business owner rather, is monetize what gives you dopamine and you will outwork anyone. And it won't feel like work. And that's why I always say I get paid to exist, because like I would do this all for free. And I did before I ever made money from it. So it just doesn't feel, it's like my existence. I would have done it as a hobby. We all do things. You're scrolling on TikTok. Imagine if you got paid. Like, and there exists a world where you can do something that's as fun as scrolling on TikTok for you. Like, actually, me scrolling on TikTok makes me money because I'm looking for content ideas. So, like, literally, I've monetized my existence. As someone with ADHD, that's something you have to do, or else you'll be like, it's just you have to when you have ADHD. I would say other lessons I've learned is like, the most obsessed person always wins, not the hardest working. The best product doesn't win, the best known one does. So, the more eyeballs you get on what you're doing, the better. You really should be putting all of your energy into high leverage things. And one of the highest leverage things you could do is marketing and like knowing social media, because like even for my app, for example, I could have coded it myself. Technically, right? I could have spent the time to learn how to like manually hard code like the back end and the front end. And it's just like, why would I spend the time doing that when like I could hire someone to do that? I could have my co-founders do that. And then I can like 10x the output by just focusing on what I'm good at, which is, social media. In business, you really should, there's always going to be 3 things that actually move the needle. In every business, you can boil it down to like, there's 3 things that are the oxygen of your business. Without those 3 things, your business doesn't exist. Every day when you wake up, business is war, right? You're going to be hit with this fire, that fire, these people coming, that you need to just focus. Like every day you wake up, you're like, my army doesn't exist if I don't have these 3 things. Like, might as well not even enter this battlefield right now. And so for me, it's like I wake up and every day and I'm like, we get distracted. We have emails, we have this and what. It's like, wake up and be like, what is the oxygen of my business? If I don't post a video today, my business doesn't exist. Without content, my business doesn't exist. So every day, spend 90% of your time on what moves the needle. People get excited. Shiny object syndrome. Truthfully, the one thing. If you had a gun to your head and I was like, make $1 million, one thing comes to mind, probably 2, 3 things comes to mind. If you put your energy into that, watch how fast you make money. Also, the fear of being seen, the fear of, limiting beliefs are holding people back so much and they're blind to it. If your business isn't making 7+ figures, it's literally just because you have limiting beliefs. That's it.
Why not $1 billion?
I mean, you could do $1 billion. Yeah. Why not?
That's a classic question. It's more they'll be making fun of manifestation and say, why not $1 billion? But you could, it sounds
You
like.
could. I mean, I could. I don't necessarily want to. I don't have a desire for it. It's like I could become an NBA all-star, maybe. I don't know, my 5 foot, but it's like I don't want to. It's not like something I wake up every day and I want to. In fact, and for me now, my business, I'm not making money for my business because I want more money for myself to pay myself. I just want my business to reach more people. And so I'm making money to reinvest in my businesses at this point. There was once a time where I was like, I'm just doing this business because I have to pay bills. So it's interesting how it like changes, but yeah.
On the if you wanted to be an all-star NBA player, if there are a lot of people that maybe they want to do well on TikTok,
Yeah.
do well on social media, but what they actually care about is something that's not viral at all, something that no one else cares about.
Everything can go viral. Everything.
But if they're talking about manifestation because they love it, even though they didn't know anything about social media at the time, if what they loved happened to be manifestation versus what this person loves happens to be, I don't know, like different types of grass,
Okay.
the chance of that going viral on the first post are not the same.
Limiting belief. That's such a limiting. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I think both have equal chance of going viral. It's just how you position it. In fact, I'll tell you what, I was actually just, I don't know, randomly talking about this with a friend yesterday because I was talking about, have you ever played the game GeoGuessr?
No.
It's this game where like they drop you on a random, Google Maps, how you have Street View and you can see where you are,
Mm-hmm.
So it's this game where it drops you in a random location in the world. You're at Google Street View on that street and you have to, on a map, figure out where you are. And the closer you are to the coordinates of where you got dropped, the higher your score. One of the most viral people I know is a GeoGuessr player. I didn't give a fuck about that. And he literally, by the way, will like get dropped into like a field of grass, speaking of grass, and he will analyze the type of grass and that will dictate where in the map he is. Speaking of grass, way more viral than I am, like literally tens of millions of views on these videos because it's so intriguing. And the way his energy, like he first of all, he's good at it. So that's like already
I've definitely
insane.
seen those. Yeah.
Oh, you've definitely seen it. So like my point is, everything can go viral. I watch the stupidest videos about shit that I have nothing to do with. And it's just like, it's either someone's energy about it or their like excitement towards it or the way that they position it. Right. And so, yeah, everything can go viral with the right energy.
So that same intuition would have worked for anyone, basically.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you post with the conviction that you're going to go viral and you like embody that frequency and that magnetism and that confidence when you're posting, it will do well. And like there's also like, you have to know what goes viral too on a, on a virality level. But
Last question. Is there anything that you think you believe or know that no one else does? That you're just like outside of business, outside of manifestation, or maybe in that, but you specifically, this thing.
I don't think there's anything I know that other people don't or hasn't been discovered in the entire world. I don't think so. Not yet. I'm open to that type of, I don't want to be like a narcissist here. I'm open to that, but like I think there's a lot of things I know that people discover a lot later in life or never at all. Like the average person or even highly successful people. And like I'll talk to people who are like in their 50s and they're like, dude, I wish I had your mindset when I was your age because where would I have ended up? And so it's costing you a lot in your life. You're taking on a lot of debt for all your limiting beliefs. You're taking on a lot of debt for what you don't know. You always have to ask yourself, what is like the stupidity tax I'm paying on my life right now? Whether it be in business, whether it be in manifestation, whether it be in whatever, you're always paying debt on what you don't know about something. And so the faster you can close that gap, the faster you can start reaping the rewards of it not being debt, but it being an investment, right? So I would say it's not that I know something people don't. I think I just discovered a lot of things a lot sooner. Yeah.
Even just the focus on limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that way. Haven't thought that way.
Yeah.
Maybe I will now. And I think most people in general, it's like, if we thought about that more, it might be
Oh my God,
a lot better
100%.
off.
No, it's truly life-changing when you just start realizing, like, when things start going wrong in your life, ask yourself, what is subconsciously, because you can't see it usually, but what is subconsciously holding me back? I'll give you a really stupid example. I noticed I was like really hesitating to post certain videos on my Instagram. I was like, or like on my stories or like whatever. And I was like, if I posted this right now, I would make like a bunch more sales, but I'm just feeling hesitant. And I was like, oh, it's because this like random guy I have a crush on follows me and I don't want him to see this video. And that is costing me tens of thousands of dollars. That limiting belief that I didn't even realize that was what was creating that restriction in me and that like resistance, right? Wherever you have resistance in your life, you have a limiting belief. So the thing you need to be doing is like start spotting where that resistance shows up. Is it resistance to go on dates with people? Is it resistance to post? Is it resistance to take risk? That resistance is always the result of some programming or some limiting belief, and that is costing you the love of your life. It is costing you tens of thousands of dollars. The sooner you discover where that resistance lies and what limiting belief created it so that you can change it and turn it into an empowering belief, the sooner you change everything.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't the last question. What?
Yeah.
With sales, I definitely see this for myself.
Yeah.
If I'm in a crowd of people and I walk in, I'm like, no one needs me to go up to them right now and talk to them. And if I go and talk with them, they're here for some other reason, probably.
What are you talking with sales for what?
Sales, honestly, for anything, but for us specifically for getting podcast clients, new shows, podcast guests,
Okay.
podcasts, or
You're saying you get
team
people out
members.
in the wild? What are you trying to
Yeah,
say?
sometimes. I think there are a lot of rooms where, even like a conference, where a lot of media people are.
Okay.
What is the right belief to think when you're walking into that room?
Oh, I'll tell you. You walk into that room being like, every person wants to talk to me right now. You walk into that room like, I have the #1 podcast studio in the world. And they would be so lucky to step foot in my podcast studio. Which might sound a little narcissistic, but what would that mindset make you do? How differently would you talk to people? Suddenly you're like, you walk up to those people, you have conversations like, you'd be losing not to come to my podcast. Like you'd actually be making a mistake. And when you operate with that energy of I don't need you, you need me, everything shifts. When you come into a conversation, you're like begging people to work with you. That's so that's unattractive, and it's also like you will lose a client so fast. Same in dating. If I'm going up to a guy and I'm like, can I get your number? Oh my God. Like you operate with desperation and I need you. That will like rebuke something out of your life very, very fast. The fastest way to magnetize something is to have the law of detachment where you're like, I don't need you, but if you want, sure, I'll give you the opportunity. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's a very different energy and a frequency. And yes, it's manifestation, but it's also human psychology because in life, you always want what you can't have a little bit, right? And so when there's something to that as well, I think.
Yeah, agreed. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay.
Oh, and actually before, and we'll just cut this back in, where can people find the app? Where can they, what else is there? The course? Or is it just the app
Mostly
right
the
now?
app and my Instagram. You can get my app Stella on the App Store. It's called Stella Manifest Anything. And then I'm at Hot High Priestess on everything.
Why should people get the app?
Dude, the app is actually life-changing. Speaking of having that energy, it's so good. You tell everything, you're manifesting all of your dreams, all of your desire. If you want to meet the version of you who's already a millionaire, you can on my app. So go meet her right now. Listen to what a day in her life is like, or the version of you where that man is.
And what happens
down.
if they don't, or if I don't get the app?
If you don't, I still believe in you, but I think it's just gonna, you're just gonna wish you did it sooner. That's it.
Love it.
Bye.